Hey y'all, hope everyone's doing well. I am Appalachian Mama, or my name is Erica, whichever one you want to call me. It doesn't matter. We are in my 5-year-old's room. We've been here before. It's gotten a lot better over the last year, but you still have to decluttering. It never stops. You got to keep coming back. So Joe's closet, obviously he can't reach those top two shelves. That is all me. That's me throwing stuff in there I didn't want to deal with, stuff I wasn't ready to get rid of or just even think about. So my husband took the second shelf down because we were hanging clothes on it, but it wasn't working. So we took it out. I want to move the toy box that you can see behind that door into the closet because that was really, that's taken up a lot of space in this room. It is an incredibly small room. So, every bit of floor space helps. I have accepted over the last year that I cannot have a lot of stuff in my house. That minimalism is probably, no, not exactly minimalism, but more towards that minimalism idea that's going around. That will be more realistic for my house. I love knickknacks. I love having a lot of stuff, but I don't dust. I don't, keep my displays in order. I just clutter stuff around it. If there's a spot to clutter, I will clutter it. So I've just taken those places away. I've done that with a lot of things in my house. When you first walk into the front, there's nothing, there's not a table, there's not a hutch, there's not a shelf because I will put stuff on it. I just keep doing it. So I just take those places away. And Joe's room is no exception. And that's not fair because it's his room, not my room. So that table that you saw me take away, it's been in multiple rooms in my house because I just didn't want to get rid of it. I took it out. It left my house. We donated it. I had to get rid of it. I wasn't happy about it. I'm happy now, but it was really difficult. And those thoughts really upset me. Well, I don't know, upset might be. No, it does upset me, but I still do it anyway. Like I don't want to hold on to these things. I don't want to have a shoebox full of knickknacks, and it upset me that I can't get rid of it. Like I know that I want to get rid of these things, but I just don't feel like I can. Like I keep thinking, well, I'm going to have a purpose for it, and it irritates me that I can't just throw stuff away. So in Joe's room, we took everything out of the closet, and if it didn't belong in his room, if it wasn't his, I took it out and I found a home for it, or I donated it. And you will see at the end of this video the huge pile of stuff that I got rid of, and it is unbelievable how much stuff was in this closet, in this room, that didn't need to be there, that, we weren't even going to use. I pulled a whole bunch of stuff down there. Okay, so here's where I have trouble. So those Harry Potter Lego boxes that you saw, my husband bought those for me a couple Christmases ago. And my son Michael and I put them together, and now we have them on display in our hallway. My problem is those Lego boxes now and the Legos themselves are worth quite a bit of money. So do I get rid of the boxes, or do I keep them with the intention of selling them? And I really think the best answer would be to recycle the boxes, because I am probably not going to sell those Legos. And if my kids ever decide to sell the Legos, I don't think that they or the pieces, will stay together that long. I don't know. It just doesn't feel realistic. But then there's this little voice in the back of my head that says, Erica, what if those are worth like $1,000 someday? And you guys, Legos, they can be worth quite a bit. They are those, I think when he bought those for me, they were like $100 for one of the box. And then on Amazon, they were worth $500, 2 years later. But they're not worth diddly squat if you don't have all the pieces, so who knows? I don't know. I do still have the Lego boxes there in the back room. In junk purgatory is what I'll call it. I don't know whether I'm going to store it or not. I guess it'll just depend on whether or not I have space for it. So I was just tightening up the bottom of this to move it into the closet. The closet is very awkward. There wasn't anything to put on the floor, so it's not like I, was taking up space. I just thought it would look nice to have his room completely open and his toys in his closet. So he's kind of, even though he's 5, he really only plays with Legos and Matchbox cards. And that's just about all he's got. He's got several big toys, which I actually took out of the room. I am not comfortable just donating his toys without talking to him first. Not, I don't know. I really want him to be able to get rid of things on his own, because I really struggle with getting rid of things, and I was never, taught to get rid of things when I was younger. I could just keep whatever I wanted, and I never really learned how to, get rid of stuff. My grandmother was always very good with keeping things clean and organized and stuff, but I never learned how to get rid of stuff until now, when I'm older and I'm having to teach myself. So it's important that my son doesn't, I want him to have those skills to be able to get rid of stuff on his own, and it just, not be an issue when he's 38 years old and he's got a house full of junk and declutter. So here I'm just putting stuff into the little toy boxes. I did go through some of it as I was going along. The bigger toys that I was talking about that I took out, I went and put on the back porch, because that's usually where he plays with them, if he plays with them at all. I am going to kind of make the process of, if they're outside for a little bit, they don't come back in. I don't want the outside toys inside the house, just because I don't. I'm terrible with cleaning and sanitizing them, so that's why I just don't even bother. The rule is, if you take it outside, it stays outside. So anyway, I figured if he doesn't play with them in about a month or so, I'm going to go ahead and just get rid of them, because there's several toys out there that he hasn't played with all summer, and I'm getting ready to get rid of those as well. He did make several big decisions, though. He had a huge truck that he doesn't play with anymore, and he donated that. He had another fire truck that is a little bit too young for him, and he doesn't want to play with it. So I was really, really happy about it, because I asked him, I said, Joe, do you play with this truck? I was like, do you want to keep it? He's like, well, I want to keep it. And I said, okay, well, when was the last time you played with it? I did not expect him to really give me a real answer, and he got real quiet, and he said, well, Mommy, I guess the last time I played with it was when you broke your foot. I broke my foot, y'all, 2 years ago. I cannot believe he even remembered that, so I'm wondering if he's thinking of something else. And I said, oh, okay, well, that was a long time ago. He's like, yeah. And I said, so what do you think that means we should do? He's like, we should probably give this truck away to some other kid that can play with it. I was like, oh my gosh. I was so proud of him, because it was just great. And so that's how I'm teaching him to kind of naturally declutter, if that makes any sense. Like, my goal for him is when he's, older, that he just knows that there's an expiration date on some of our things, and it's time for us to give them on and, just to go to another home. So, I mean, some people are just naturally messy, and I'm one of them, but, there's still a time you should know when to get rid of stuff, and that's what I'm hoping he'll know. So I'm going through all these clothes. My sister gives me all of my nephew's hand-me-downs for Joe. I don't buy a lot of new things for him. Joe is my youngest out of 5, so I've had a lot of time to learn that kids very rarely wear new stuff. Like, it's almost a waste of money to me. I buy him new stuff every now and then. Usually, though, it's for church or for a special occasion, or underwear and socks and that type of stuff. But he had a ton of stuff in here that he wasn't going to wear. The seasons had passed, so I made sure to go through. And y'all, I'm embarrassed to say, it was like 75% of the clothes in his closet were ready to move on to another home. I also decided to take the clothes that my son Michael had been, Michael's 13, Joe's 5. Joe is not going to wear the clothes that Michael's, his hand-me-downs anytime soon. So I just went ahead and donated those as well. So it was, quite a bit of stuff. So something important that I'm trying to really put into my thought process is, how is this room going to be different after I'm done with it this time? Because I noticed, especially over this last year with YouTube, that I clean the same messes over and over again, and I never take the steps to actually change the behaviors, So what is going to change in this room? How am I going to make it different so that the messes aren't going to be the same messes? Now, I realize that he's 5, and there's going to be a daily mess, but like these big, huge, extreme transformations that I'm having to do, while they're fun to make and they're fun to watch on YouTube, I've got to change my ways. So what is going to be different about it this time is what I'm asking myself. And the amount of stuff that I got rid of is what's going to be different. And I have got to be a better keeper of my household. I've got to stop bringing stuff in. So I think one of the big things that's going to change in this room, well, the toys for starters. I'm going to have to learn to start saying no to hand-me-downs, because while I really appreciate it and financially, it's always a big help, I've got to quit bringing them in, because I've done this the last couple times my sister's given me clothes, and I'm so grateful, and I will continue to take them, but I think I need to go through them before they even go into Joe's room. Like, I need to make sure that he can wear them this season and then, wash them and put them up, instead of storing them and waiting until the season comes around to go through it, because honestly, I'm going to forget about it. If I don't see it, it's out of my mind. I don't work that way. I don't remember that things are there. I mean, I know they're there if I really sat and thought about it, but y'all, I don't sit and think about it. So what I was doing here is I was throwing stuff, as you all saw. I threw it out into the hallway. I needed to get this room done so Joe could sleep in it that night. This is one of those projects that just started randomly after work. I came home and decided I was going to declutter Joe's room. I did not plan this. That's what happened. So I'm just going through stuff, and I took everything in Joe's room that wasn't staying in here, and I put it out in the hallway and on the dining room table, and I made a huge mess that I cleaned up the very next day. But that's okay. Y'all aren't going to see that on film, because it was just a bunch of clutter. That TV was given to us. It was a really nice TV. I don't know what we're going to do with it. I did keep it. I put it in my back room. I'm going to have to go back through that stuff again as we keep decluttering the house. That's where stuff goes before it goes to a permanent home, I guess. So it really irks me what a hold these material objects have on me. It drives me nuts. Like, even watching this video, I'm like, just get the broom and sweep it up and throw it away. But I still continue to go through every little piece and every little thing, and I'm getting better. I'm getting much better. There are times y'all will see me just finally get frustrated, sweep it up, throw it away, and then I don't think about it, and it's so freeing that way. But then, there's a little voice in my head that goes, Erica, you're going to throw a memory away. You're going to throw something away that, you're going to really regret. And, at the end of the day, the only things that are important are not these material objects. They're my kids, my husband, my animals, none of this stuff. It doesn't matter, but yet I waste so much time and energy on it, and it is getting better. And I'm just sharing my thought process with y'all. I'm, inventing too, and just kind of getting it off my chest. But it's weird. I don't know, is it weird? I don't know, or something. There's a word I'm looking for. It's just that it's just astounding what a hold these things have on us. So on a funny note, my outfit was not planned. I had worked this day, and that is the shirt that I wore to work. And then when I got home, I decided I don't want to wear jeans anymore, so I just grabbed my sweatpants and put them on. I have gotten really obsessed with cheetah prints. I don't like to use the word obsessed because it's a bit dramatic, but it seemed like it has become an obsession when my entire closet is like now full of cheetah print everything. I have like 4 pairs of cheetah print shoes, cheetah print underwear, cheetah print shirts, cheetah print pants, cheetah print shorts. I mean, it's just everywhere. And I have not worn out of it. But I guess obviously it's working together because I got this cute little outfit on. So, So usually with his stuff, I kind of push it all into a pile to sort through. That's what works for me. Some people have different methods, but that's what I like to do. Or piles or all that, and then it's because it's like more like small goals for me. I do well with small goals. So, I'm going through these clothes. He has a dresser in there now, which was so funny that it worked out, because I thought that a dresser wouldn't work out in here. I'd actually gotten rid of the one that he originally had, but it was really small and awkward. So we put this bigger one in there, and it has been fantastic. So I put all his clothes up. That was one of the things I changed too. Like I said, I'm making sure that every time I go into a room and I do a big declutter like this, I'm like, okay, well, what can I do to make this different this time? What steps can I take to change this room or change this behavior so, it doesn't continue to happen? Again, I know you're always going to have to declutter, you're always going to have to clean something, but how do I make it, how do I make less work for myself? So I, my mind just completely blank. Yeah, here are the piles that I was talking about, y'all. So I just kind of scoop it together and then, just start sorting through. Ultimately, if I just want to make less work for myself, I should just quit bringing stuff into the house. But I don't know. That is something maybe I need to go back to therapy for. I don't know. I'm not making fun, like I'm being completely serious. I do really well. I don't shop, and then all of a sudden, boom, I'm like, oh my gosh, I need all this stuff. We've got to buy all this stuff. And then I'm like, oh, nope, nope. And it's just this vicious cycle. So I guess when I start finding myself trying to shop excessively, that I've got to just take a step back and, keep myself in check and be thankful for Amazon returns, being so simple. So, and again, going through another pile, kind of sorting through it. I threw a lot of stuff up on the bed that I needed to go through there. Now, this pile at this point, I was really frustrated having to go through it, but Joe has some blocks that he uses for his math program, and they're very expensive blocks, and he wasn't supposed to take them into his room, but he did. So I was having to go through and find the blocks and, keep them separated. One thing that I have to brag on myself that I'm very proud of is I don't keep a lot of Joe's artwork. I keep a couple small pieces, but I used to be terrible with that. Anything that my kids doodled on, I would have kept. And I had like 4 totes at one point of all of my kids' arts and crafts and everything else. And it was really difficult for me to go through that. I had to have my daughter help me at one point. And, after doing all that, like I realized with Joe that I don't want to go through that again. So I have kept a couple small pieces that he has done for me, and I do keep some of his artwork, but I do pretty well to just, throw it away and let it go. Anything that is like really crafty, I have a special place designated in my room for it, and the rest, nope, I let go. It took, when I went through the big box, one of the big totes of my other kids' stuff, I was like, there were so many projects and stuff in there, and that were ripped up and falling apart, didn't have the kids' names on, and I still couldn't let go of it. And I'm like, oh my gosh, it's like I'm throwing away their childhood. And then finally, I had to let go of it, and that's what I did. I started a system, and it took me probably 6 months to go through all 4 of those boxes. And, it was really difficult, and it's not even the actual papers. I guess that's just the mom guilt part coming through. You can't really even explain mommy guilt. I feel so guilty for things that my kids don't even care about. They're like, Mom, why do you feel bad throwing that away? They're like, I don't even remember that. But yet it's like everything that their little baby hands touched, it's like I feel like I'm throwing that away, and it's like, that's just silly. So I've done well. That has stuck with Joe. I am able to throw a lot of the stuff away that I know that he makes at church, and that might sound like I'm being mean or whatnot, but we also do a lot of projects at home with homeschool. I thought it was going to be more difficult for me with homeschooling him to throw his projects away that were just falling apart or we were done with, but it's not. Like I'm grateful for that mindset, that change that occurred in me. So I guess that's one of those great things about the gifts that God gives us, is he will take painful situations or our struggles or something and turn it into something even better if we let him. And that going through my kids' stuff was really difficult, but there was a lot of stuff, a lot more issues that I was unpacking with that too, like my first divorce and stuff, and the guilt that I felt that my kids having to go through all that, and it just brought up a lot of painful memories, but it was necessary to go through it. So now I, learned I cannot do it again, not repeat those things like with my son or with my youngest son. But on to the specific. I thought I was done, y'all. If you can feel it through the video. And then I looked under the bed and I saw this and I was like, oh my goodness, I could have cried. Like I was so close to being done. And then this is when I decided I wanted to maybe rearrange his bed and see if this might help. So yeah, it was awful. I found an apple core under there. I found popsicle wrappers. I have to say I'm very glad Joe saw ants in his room. and he won't bring food in there anymore. I told him, I was like, buddy, this is why we're not allowed to eat in here. You know, you can't bring your trash in here. I was like, ants like the sweets. I got rid of the ants. The ants are gone, but it was just, you know, you got popsicle wrappers, and this time of summer, they're going to come out. So anyway, it was enough to bother him that he won't bring food in there anymore. Because like I said, I don't let him, but he does sneak it now and then. I mean, I say I don't let him, but I do kind of know he's doing it. So that's on me too, but anyway. Well, this video is about to wind down, so I want to thank you all so much for watching my video. If you are new, I would absolutely love it if you subscribed and joined my little YouTube family. And, well, I hope everyone is having a blessed day wherever you all are at. Yeah, wait a minute, y'all. I don't mean to cut off, but look, that is all the stuff that I got rid of that came out of the room. It is crazy. I know I'm going to turn around and run onto my porch, too, and you will see all the big bags of donations. Yeah, that stuff too, it was just ridiculous. But on to what I was saying. I hope you all have a blessed one, and I cannot wait to talk to y'all in the comments. And I hope you guys have a good one.
Look here! I am done! I am done! I am done! I am done! Oh crap, that's all.